Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on February 11th, 2026. But no matter when you click into this reading, especially if it's further down the road, your guides are coming through with a message that they would like for you to unveil in this moment. And you are more than welcome to dive into the description box where the timestamp will be below. So that way you can go ahead and jump into the reading while I get the rest of the intro out of the way. So if today is your birthday, happy birthday, and thank you for making it another trip around the world with us today. Always here on this channel, I want my listeners to know that they deserve to celebrate and find things to celebrate in their life. Anything that may be good going on, whether it be achievements, whether it be an actual birthday, or it's just, you just need something to celebrate. And secondly, going into my disclaimers, always remember that you have free will here. And whatever is presented to you today does not mean this is the only thing that you should be taken in. So always know your situation. Like, you know your situation better than I do, and know what the external circumstances are that are around your world. And this is only going to show you one possibility or one thing or aspect of your life, and nothing is set in stone. So anything that you are trying to plant, remember that you have to take care of that plant, whatever you're trying to bud and flower. And I can only share personal experiences, so I cannot give professional advice. So I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a teacher, but I can strive to, be those kind of like entities if I could. If I had the capabilities of doing so, I would. But I'm just here just to kind of like help raise the collective. Now, when you start to find that this reading is not resonating, there are a couple reasons why it may not. The first one is you may have someone that you were really close to within your family, your friends, or who you are in contact with, and your guides are using you like a radio signal in order to channel this message to them, especially if they are not tapped into their intuition. Secondly, if it is not resonating, then this is an opportunity to take what is given today as a tool to add to your belt. So that way you may be able to use it if this situation does arise, or if you come across someone and they need a little bit of help, guidance. So being that light earth worker, if that makes sense. But I'm excited. Let's go ahead and dive into your reading today. Now, we do have Aquarius coming through, peeking in again. So remember, Aquarius, they care a lot about being original, being philanthropic, or having humanitarian ideas where they are assisting the collective and progressing things forward. So this energy that I felt today compared to the last times, I feel as if there is a need for freedom, a need to be able to march to the beat of your own drum, where you are listening to your heart and not letting it be guided by external influences or those that are around you. And you are taking consideration to the ideas that are coming through to you today, and trying to figure out if there is a future possibility with whatever it is that you are thinking. So you may find that you are lost in thought more than usual, where you are coming up with these innovative ideas and or trying to rebel against something, especially if you're wanting freedom or if you're challenging the norm of whatever is going on in your world. And you may even start to notice if things are starting to be unfair in your life and you're wanting to see more fairness. You want to see more equality. You want to make sure that everybody is doing their part and it's not just one person bearing the load. So with this energy coming in, you may also be trying to avoid drama and any kind of emotional fuss where there may be gossip. You would rather not entertain the gossipers. You would much rather be entertaining those that, they have big ideas. They love thinking about, the psychological things is what I'm getting through here. Thinking of science and technology and they want to expand their mind. They want their mind, the wheel to keep turning. And gossip it's like it puts a bolt inside the wheel, and it churns, and they would rather just walk away from it. So you may find that with you lost in your thoughts, people are trying to stop you, trying to engage with you. And if you start to feel as if it's just small talk, you'll kind of like avoid them altogether, because there's something here that you're wanting to plant right now. And if you are finding that there are these outdated norms that are going around in your world, whether they be at work or maybe the way you view your relationships and your friends, and right now you're kind of dismantling things, it makes me think of somebody that's taking apart, like if you were taking apart your heart right now and dismantling it, so that way you can build it back together, so that way you have a better future for yourself. Or someone who is taking apart this I actually did this when I was growing up, where I took apart my dad's so if you don't know what a VHS is, that's what we used to use to watch videotapes and stuff on. We didn't have DVDs. And I remember I had dismantled our VHS and I couldn't put it back together. So think about the things that you say you can do today. Can you actually take it apart and then put it back better together? Or is this something you may need an expert to come in and kind of put it back together? I will say my father was not very impressed with what it is I did, but he was a tinkerer when it came to computers. And so I found, inspiration from watching him do that. So my Aquarius energy, and always remember, you do not have to have this sign for it to resonate. This is just the energy that is coming through and wanting to help guide you with your ideas and anything that you're wanting to do to progress your life. And I'm going to go ahead and get all of your tarot cards up. So we have the Page of Swords, and it is in reverse, but I want to leave it upright so you can kind of see the artwork. And then in your heart center, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and it is upright. And look at the amazing artwork on this. I just love Lubanco's tarot. It is just beautiful. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which is upright. So going ahead and me diving into the Page of Swords over here. Let me go ahead and grab that. So anytime you see a court card, because you do have 2 court cards here, this can either be things that you are personifying outwardly within your own self, or these are your personality traits that are coming through, or this is someone that is around you that your guides are trying to either A, connect you with, or help you be aware of this person or this situation that is going on. But the Page of Swords, when you find that it is in reverse, it is like when you're trying to hold back from expressing your own truth, or like when you're trying to keep your opinions and your thoughts to yourself more privately, or if you do share them, you're sharing them anonymously, because it's like you're scared of pushing the needle or facing the drama that may come through when you do express your ideas. And you may even find that you have, or if you don't have one, having a private journal will be a good way for you to be able to, unlock what all is going up in your mind and put it onto the paper, so you can have even more different ideas to float in and be able to take the ones that actually give you power, that make you want to express your truth. Even if you are introverted, you actually want to say what is on your chest. And or you may even find that you're trying to write a book, but it's like this book is not for anybody. It's just for you. Or in my case, I have journals that I have been writing since I've started my own spiritual journey. And these journals I have written will only be passed down shortly after I have passed away from this world. So I cannot wait for my great-great-great-grandchildren to find Grandma Mystic's books and wonder what was going on with Grandma Mystic. It's those kind of things. So you may be writing a book for yourself because you want to be heard. And at that time, maybe it's just paper that is hearing your words. So think about the messages that you do want to get across, what is really important to you. But this card can talk about someone that is coming into your world or has been in your world that has not been following through with their promises, and they have been exaggerating with the things that they said that they could do. So be careful of these kind of individuals. Like, actually, so like if you were paying someone to complete something for you that they said that they could do, actually look into their portfolio and see if they have any kind of weight behind what it is they say they can do. Don't just outright pay them. I had a This makes me think of when my grandmother had her room refurbished and she had all the drywall and stuff done. She had given them like half the payment for the job, and then they were working on it and she seen that they had made big progress, so she went ahead and paid them in full. And then as soon as she did so, they stopped working and dipped out just as quickly. So be really careful about, you know, what you are, sharing. If you're sharing your ideas, or if you're sharing something that someone may kind of take and make their own. And if you do find that you're making more promises that you can't keep yourself, try to be careful so that way you don't say something that you might regret later, whatever this case may be. And take it. If you find that you have all of this energy that is backing you, you have all of this information that has came in, and you want to do something with it, try to tackle one thing at a time, so that way you don't find that you are overwhelmed with, you just have this one sword in this moment. So if that is only one sword, only tackle one thing at a time. And this can even talk about someone. This makes me think of, because this is a page of swords, you may be around younger types of energy, whether that be children, or even you are starting to experience this, where you're asking a lot of questions. You have all these ideas that are going on in your mind, and you're trying to figure out, how do I do something with this thing that I'm experimenting with? Or how can I help progress the world and make humanity a better place? So think about the questions you are asking and who it is you are asking these questions to. Sometimes when you're trying to get the knowledge or the experience that you need, and you're not, like, the question isn't helping you find the answer, ask instead, help me understand what it is that you are saying, what it is that you are trying to get across, especially if you find that you are struggling with those that are in your life. Now, in the heart center, dealing with your relationships, your career relationships, your friendships, we have the Wheel of Fortune here. So you are finding that you're being inspired, like your heart is wanting you to meet more suitable and potential partners, friendships, people just in general, like people who are suitable for you, that think like you and bring out the best in you. And the Wheel of Fortune is wanting you to be open to the new experiences and actually let fate take you in a new direction. You may be in the reverse for the Page of Swords, but if you can just allow fate, trust in it, and understand that if you are finding there is a setback that is preventing you from being able to express yourself, then throwing yourself into fate will allow you to move more, more in tune with what your heart is, beating to, like with Aquarius energy. And allow yourself to go through the flow of spontaneous actions. If you are in a relationship and you find that it is, some days it's really hot, some days it's really cold, some days it's just out of the blue where you're going out and doing things, and it's just like you get whiplash from it. So if you can trust yourself just to go with the flow and not be upset with the randomness of it all, because sometimes the Wheel of Fortune can feel so random at times when it goes around and then it comes back around. So that is the Wheel of Fortune here, and it's going to be unexpected. But the more good energy that you put into your relationships, the more you will receive that similar type of energy, whether that be through your family and your friends or co-workers, and if you are pestering or people are pestering, or when people are bringing that bad energy to you, it's like the Wheel of Fortune is saying they will get their karma. Trust this, they will get their karma if they keep on doing whatever it is that they are doing. And if you do find that your relationship is struggling and you see the Wheel of Fortune coming in, now is a time to kind of renegotiate the relationship, so that way your needs can be met, because it may feel as if one partner may be putting in more than the other partner is. But ultimately, the Wheel of Fortune wants you to cherish these blissful moments that you do have in your life with those that you love, and be open to growing and expanding in that area of your life, so that way you can receive more positive outcomes. And there may even be, and this is just another clarification to let you know that there are factors outside of your control that may be influencing the situations going on in your relationships. What I love about the Wheel of Fortune is if you like, I'm doing good in my relationship, and the Wheel of Fortune is saying there is something that is going to be twisting and changing in an unexpected way, but based on how you are treating the relationship will determine if you are getting more good karma from it, or if you have been neglecting the relationship and it has been struggling, or someone has been neglecting the relationship, then this is going through that. It is no longer going to keep happening. But I love seeing the Wheel of Fortune, because that means that there's a lot of luck that is going to be coming in through with your relationships, and you're going to find that there are turning points now that you may not have expected. The Knight of Cups being in the back of your mind, the subconscious, where your dreams are trying to communicate with you about a specific individual or even a part of you that is trying to be expressed here. Because this knight is very creative, very romantic, knows how to put the charm on when it comes to people and situation, and they have this big imagination and just love putting beauty around them. Because look at this waterfall scene back in here. This is just such a beautiful card here, and he is just very pleased with where he is, and he is just trying to move and glide through life as it rises. So, and this can even talk now with the Page of Swords being in reverse, with the Knight of Cups coming through. There may be someone who they're more in love with love itself, and they are all talk and not really doing the action behind it. And that may be why the Wheel of Fortune is coming into your heart, because this is about to change, because you're going to actually request them to actually put action behind their words. And this card can talk about, when there is a project, it will be a project you want to do because you will feel called to do that project. It's not something that someone will just say, hey, can you do this for me? You have to actually want to do it. And this is what's going to create the motivation that you need in the action itself. Now, this other person, if this is talking about someone that is trying to approach you with a romantic offer, there is a little bit of motivation here, and it's either they're waiting for you to say something to either give the green light for this, or they notice that your mind is elsewhere right now because you're thinking about other things. They don't want to feel as if they are going to be anonymous to you if you are staying anonymous. They actually want to make this more, I do want to say this is something they would rather make public and not just behind a wall. And they are trying to create a vision of harmony, or you are even trying to create a vision of harmony, and you're just trying to bring that into reality. But you may even find that your emotions and your heart are being ruled, and your decisions are being based on how you are feeling in the moment. So your guides are probably coming through in this moment. And I will say the Wheel of Fortune, when you see it come up in a reading, you may have felt called to work with archangels or ascended masters to kind of work through this situation you may be in, especially if you are trying to create a better world for the collective here. And they will do that by bringing people into your life to help you create more and to find ways to love others passionately, without regard, and actually mean what it is that you say you want to do in life. But let me go ahead and clarify the Page of Swords with your animal energy. So we have the Swan and Grace. So the Swan is wanting you to glide across the water. So this makes me think gliding across your emotions. So that way you can find your wisdom and things that make you feel light. And to allow yourself to transform into something that feels elegant and graceful, and to find dignity within the spirit of things that are beautiful in your life. And then the confirmation here, your focus is you do have a new start that is coming for you. And I love that this has been progressing over to the main focus here. It's like your mind and your body are trying to get you prepared for this, because the Wheel of Karma is trying to show you that there's something new here coming in. Now, for the Wheel of Fortune being confirmed with your animal, we have elephant, greatness. You know, love is your strength. Leadership is one of your best qualities. Your wisdom is helping inspire others, everyone that you meet. And you will overcome any kind of problem you may come across. You will naturally and easily achieve success. And that positive mind frame is what's going to help you. And the Moonology card behind this is step out of your comfort zone. And that is one of the things that the Wheel of Fortune did ask, is being open to new experiences and letting fate take you in a new direction. Because that's how you're going to find where your true north is. Then for your Knight of Cups, we have Frog, prosperity. Let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are really close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune are awaiting you. And we have, this card came out yesterday and the day before. You and your loved ones are safe. And this whenever I see this, if you are worried about how your loved ones are doing, give them a call. Check in with your family, even if that means you have to hop back into town just to make sure your parents are doing okay, or whoever you are close to, your siblings, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents. But check in on them so that way you can feel confident that they are doing well. The affirmation for you towards the end of this reading is optimism. I am optimistic. That is key here. Being optimistic when you have a really good idea that you actually do want to share with the world. And then your self-love, self-care oracle is close your eyes, place a hand on your cheek, say to yourself, you are so loved. And you are. You have people that are trying to come into your life in this moment, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic offer. This is just people who have a lot of love and admiration for you that would love to be a part of your energy, especially if you are very charming. And then for the divine feminine, divine masculine card, we actually have a divine masculine card coming through, and it wants you to think about if you are being overprotective of something, someone, or a situation. So this something could be your words. Someone could be this person that you're wanting to come into your life, or thinking about the situation. What is it that you're trying to create for the better good of humanity? But that is your card for that. Well, my dears, that is your reading for today. I did just recently post a relationship connection video, and there are 5 piles. So if you felt called to check that reading out, I encourage it. But please let me know how you enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe if I haven't already said that. But have a blessed day, guys.